of 2.1 large numbers. So if I gave you a number like this, so jot this down. Why do you do backwards? Because you'll see why in a second. Okay, now I'm going to apply the chart that we were just looking at on the other page. Now, this might help you in knowing how to say this number properly. So I'm going to block this out, and I'm going to call it U, and then under it is HTO. And then I'm going to block this out again. Now, hands up, what is the next period over from units? What's the next period over from units? If you need to look at your other side of your page, you can, okay? What is the next period over from units? So going to the left, so you're getting bigger. Dominic? The period. Remember the group of 3 numbers over from units? So remember you have units, and then you have something in the middle, and then you thousands. Good. Okay, so thousands. So we represent that with a TH. So again, I'm applying the chart from the other page. So again, HTO. Now what's the next unit over? I mean, not the next unit. The next period over from thousands. Hunter. Millions. So again, same thing. Represent that with an M. You don't have to do this if you don't need it. However, it's just good to have as a reference. Now you know how to maybe say this number properly. Does anyone want to try saying that number now? Because now you have the reference in order how to say it, right? Okay, Aaron?
222 million.
Good.
101,989.
Excellent. Okay, so you had that as a reference point. I noticed you had that on your page, so that's good. Okay, so that's our basic standard form. Now, expanded form, you've probably seen it reported in 2 different ways. So there's one really long way and one shorter way. Now, this year I'm going to give you the option. You can do either way, and I'm okay with it. But for this page, we're going to do both, so you have, if you have both as a reference, okay? I didn't leave you enough room, my apologies, so you might have to go on to the back to do the second way, or you might have to squeeze it all in. Do you have a question? Or? Okay, expanded form, I'm going to start you off the first way, so I'm going to do this in one color, okay? Sorry, I should take that off. Okay, so the first way, method 1, is just simply adding it. So you would usually start off with, so the biggest place value is 200 million. So you would start off with 200 million plus. Now, can somebody tell me what the next the next one would be? Now this, yeah, you might think this doesn't take as long, but this is actually the shorter way to expand it. What's the next one? Okay. Remember, what you do. There's another way. I'm going to show you both ways. Okay. Anyways, Malcolm, what's the next one? Yeah, plus 20 million. Again, you're going in order from the highest to lowest place value. Double check that you have the same number of zeros as the place value that you took it from. Okay, what's the next one? We're on the third 2. Noah. Good. 2 million. Again, count the number of zeros to make sure you have everything there. Okay, we're on to the first one here. How do you represent that in expanded form? Trevor?
You do 100.
100 what?
1,000.
Yeah, 100,000. Okay, and then we're on, now, you could do plus 0. I'm going to just leave it out because we know that there's no place in the 10,000 place. So we're on to this one. So how would you represent that one? Samir?
Plus a million.
Good, okay. And then, okay, we're on to the first 9. How would we represent that? How would you represent the 9? Okay. Rachel. Okay. The 8 in the tens place, how do you represent that? Jobin? Yeah. And then finally we can do plus 9, okay? Now, you...
have to do the other way now.
Yeah, and yes, you have to copy it that way, okay? Okay, now, like I said, if you don't have enough room in that box I provided, you might have to go on to the other side of the page or underneath if you can fit it in, okay? I'm actually going to go onto a new page. Has everyone finished copying this?
Go up. It's not copy out.
Okay. Okay, you have to still, guys,
That's the short way.
this is the shorter way. I will teach you a shortcut for method B, but I can't teach it to you yet because you don't have the foundation. No, it's using powers of 10. Yeah, it's like that. But yes. Okay, next one. Grade 6s. Okay, so I'm going to flip over just to a blank page. Okay, can someone just give me the number we've been working with? Read it out for me, please. Read it out for me. Okay. Okay, Jojo, can you read it out, please? Okay, now method B, to do it in a different way, expanding it, is using the brackets like someone was mentioning earlier. So the way you would start it off, so I'll start you guys off. So remember, you're always starting off with the highest place value. So that's going to be, was it 2 times 100 million? And yes, this does take a bit longer than the other way. But again, you choose either method that you want. Now, what's the next bracket going to look like? I might have to start choosing popsicle sticks, actually, because I'm not hearing from enough people. Okay. Okay, listening? Okay, Ty, what's the next bracket going to look like? Okay, go. Second 2. Good. Okay, so make sure that you're copying this down. Oh, sorry, yeah, 2 times 10 million. Thank you. Okay. Okay, the next one is Malcolm. What's the next bracket look like?
2 times 2 million? No, 1 million.
Okay, good. And actually, what I'm doing is I'm just listing it underneath for this one. It might be easier to follow, like right underneath it. Okay, we're on the first one here. So the first one, what does that look like? Trevor, next bracket?
2 times...
Oh, we're on the 1 here. The first one? Yeah. Yeah, 1 times 100,000. Okay. 1 times 100,000. Then are you copying this down? Okay. All right. The next one. So we're skipping the 0. We know it's there. You don't need to add it in. Okay. What about the second one up there? Actually, I'll just continue. Joven, you're next.
1 times 1,000.
Yeah. Okay. And then we're on the first 9 there. Okay. Marina? We're on the first 9 here.
0 times 9 times 100.
Remember, you're following the same pattern. Okay, good. So 9 times 100. Can I scroll up here? Okay. Okay, now we're on that 8 there in the tens column. Josh, how would we represent this 8? Yeah. And then we're just left with, plus 9 times 1. Okay? Okay, yes, that one takes a lot longer, but I'll leave it up to you to decide which one you want to use, okay? Okay. Now, okay, next one. Okay, we're not done yet. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm still waiting for it to be quiet. Okay, Samir, go. Yes, thank you for reminding me. So usually you'd put equals. So this all equals. You can do it at the top or at the bottom. This all equals the original number. So 222 million. 101,989. Okay. Now, moving on to the next page, or back to the original page. Words are pretty straightforward, okay? You've been exposed to words before. So obviously all you're writing out is this number. Can someone say this number again to me? And you'll just write it out in words. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, you see, I have to go to this, guys, because I see the same people with their hands up. Smear. You say the number again? Okay, so you should be copying this down on your sheet as well. Okay, what's the next period? Go. And notice when I write it out in words, I do 1 period per line. 101,000. Oops. Okay, the next one. Good. Okay, again, if you don't have enough, 989, right? Okay. Media form, I'm going to use a different number to demonstrate what media form is. Now, media form, you've seen it before, but you've just never recognized it as media form. Did you have a question, Ty? Yeah.
One word. Do you have to put that,
The hyphen? Yeah. You should, because it is technically a hyphenated number. You should have it. Yes. Yes. Please. Okay. Now, for media form, I'm going to move on to a different number. I haven't told you yet. So, okay, media form. Now, copy this number down as well. Okay. Can someone read this out for me, please? You can see it. Okay, Adriana?
44,798,101.
Okay, good. Now, in media form, okay, hands up to see what I'm going to do. So this is given in standard form, but when I want to put it in media form, now, somebody tell me, or several people, raise your hands and tell me what I did here to transfer this into media form. So I translated this into media form by saying it's 44.8 million. Now, I know you've seen this, not necessarily in math class, but you've seen this form or this type of number before. Okay? Now, yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Okay, can someone tell me what did I do to change this 44,798,101 to 44.8 million? What did I do? What did I do, Nathan?
You added the 798 to 800,000.
Yep.
And yeah, and then you put a point there, and then instead of doing the two zeros, you just put the 8.
Right. So this actually represents 800,000. You're right. Why is there a decimal here, and what do numbers after the decimal represent? I only put the 44 before the decimal. So why did I choose to put the 44 before the decimal and everything else after the decimal? Think about what it represents, 44.8 million. Why did I put 44 before the decimal and not anything else? It kind of says it in the name. Trevor?
Because it's a different unit.
It's
like money, like a dollar and cents.
So you're saying this is a different unit all after the decimal?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one reason. So why put the 44 before? Why put the 44 before the decimal? There's a reason why I did that.
Because the 44.
Okay.
Bigger.
But what's in the number? Like, see what's written in words in the media form. Why did I put 44 there?
Because.
Okay, Ty? Exactly.
And after the decimal, it would have been 140.
Yeah. So remember that anything after the decimal, in this case, we're only dealing with millions. That's all part of a million. Anything before the decimal is a million or more, right? So that's why it becomes 44.8 million. Okay. Now I'll give you one more example, just so that you get used to this. So jot this down. Okay. 125. Okay, can someone attempt to put this in media form? So the number 125,902,099. So what would this be in media form? What would this be in media form? Go.
126 million.
No, go up and write it down. Okay. Now, remember, in media form, sometimes you can have one or two places after the decimal. It's just the decimal. Now, in this case, okay, so Malcolm, look at my example there in blue underneath the other number. Yeah. Do you see how I did 44.8 million? So I kept the full millions and I rounded the rest, right? So media form, you always have a combination of the word and a shortened part of the number, right? So can you maybe look at your number and see how you can change that? Okay, now careful because you've actually just changed the number. You want to keep it 125 million in that area, right? Yeah. Okay, he can figure this out though. Okay, so keep it at around the 125 million mark, but how can you switch that to media form? It's like the comma, right? In this case. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to get to that in a second. Okay, you can keep the 125 as it is. It's just the stuff after the decimal you have to change. So keep it. Can somebody maybe help him out and see and explain how you do it? Okay. Okay, Josh, what does he have to do? It's not 126. Okay, yeah. Keep it at 125.9. Now, why does it stay at a 0.9 in this case? Hands up. Why does it stay at 0.9 in this case? You're right. This is right. You also need to write. Yeah. Why does it stay at 125.9, Jovan?
Because on the first example, you show that 7 and it's
Yeah.
Thank you. Round it up, you have to look at the next the number behind.
Yeah, yeah. Right, exactly.
Above 5, then you round it up.
Yeah.
5 or
exactly. Exactly. Now, you put a dollar sign in front of this, this becomes somebody's salary who is a professional sports player, usually. Now, somebody mentioned that earlier, I think it was Nathan, because if you, now oftentimes, see, hands up if you have seen something like this reported before. Yeah, every single day. Now, here's something to think about. Now, the media tends to report numbers like this, okay? So we gave the example of sports salaries, or people who earn quite a bit in terms of like basketball salaries, football salaries, hockey, NHL players. Now, can anyone give any other examples where you've seen this, or in what type of scenario you've seen it? I mean, obviously not always with a dollar sign, but where else have you seen it? Hunter. World population, right? Population. Okay. Where else have you seen it? Natalie, did you have, that was yours? Okay. Any other examples? Dominic? Yeah, exactly. Real estate. Really expensive houses are often reported. You'll see maybe 1.7 million or 2.4 million or something like that. Where else, Noah?
Could there be like an ideal, like, I'll give you this, and then you give me real estate?
So sort of along the lines of real estate, maybe. Any other concrete examples, Jesse?
Like the lottery?
Ah, the lottery, good. The lottery. Like the Lotto 649 or the Lotto Super 7. It's not called Super 7 anymore, but anyways. So that's an example. Any other examples? Samir? What was? I didn't. Okay, sorry, I didn't follow that one. Adriana, where else? Yeah, company or stocks sometimes are reported like that, right? Stocks are a good one. Okay, someone else had their hand up. You had your hand up too.
My dad likes to float. He's like to float a boat for like 2.2 million.
Big, I'm going to say property as well. Now, here's another question for you. So sometimes, like oftentimes, news articles will have this type of number written in. Why do you think people or the media reports numbers that way? Why not write out this number? Why do they choose something like this? Why do you think? The other class is pretty blunt and honest. So, okay, Jojo, why do you think?
It's easier to read.
Easier to read, and what else? Yes, definitely easier to read. I mean, most people could read the second option easier than the first option. Why else? Natalie. It's easier to say, for sure. Easier to read, easier to say. Okay, Dominic.
It looks cheaper.
You think it looks cheaper?
Sometimes like the number's not longer. What if it sometimes it goes up? If you're like in the Michael. And you see that number, you're like, oh, math again. And it's easy to write down. Yeah.
It's easy to write down. It's easy to say. It's easy to read. Why else, Noah? Yeah.
Especially on checks.
It's quicker to write that down as opposed to writing the actual number down. Now, but here's something else you have to consider too. What is the media assumes the general population is what when it comes to numbers? Okay. No, okay, think about what I'm saying. The media assumes the public can read this a lot more easily than this. So what is that saying about the general population in terms of math, in terms of numeracy, in terms of being able to read numbers? Okay, Aaron.
We're lazy.
Yeah, we're lazy. And yeah, well, to be honest, yeah, because people are just going to make it easier for us to not have to think about what that means, right? So it's a lot easier for the media to report things as 125.9 million instead of saying 125,902,099, right? This gives a better understanding of what a number is. Anyways, food for thought.